Hey sports fans, before traveling to your game day destination this football season, be sure to download the M.Traffic app to help you reach the game safely. With just the touch of a finger, you can see road conditions as well as receive traffic alerts along your route. You can even stay up to date with alerts based on your specific route to the game. The M.Traffic app is available free for both Apple and Android devices. For more information, follow at Mississippi DOT on Facebook and Twitter.
All right, so 52-51, great outcome that we won, but also I felt like it is, like you guys know, good, bad, and different. There is a process that you want to play well, and we did not, obviously, in certain areas, had a chance to win the game on offense with 4 or 5 minutes left, and then obviously on defense, so... they went for 2. We stopped them on that. So we stopped on 1 play in the second half, so that's a good thing at the right time. But, we got a lot of work to do. Obviously, there's some discouraging parts when, 676 yards you give up to an offense that didn't score last week. But, I think when you want a championship program, you don't sit here and say everything's great just because you win a game because 1 play goes your way. So there are some good things. Thought we played good first half defense. The quarterback, our theme was put everything you have into each play. He did that. He led by example because the guy put everything into every time he had the ball in his hands, almost rushed for 100 yards against a hard run defense. When you get hit by them, it hurts. It's not a finesse defense. Second best pass defense coming in the country. And, the guy almost had 400 yards total. So made some plays outside, which is what eventually when you keep running the ball happens. But you got to make plays out there. So I wouldn't have guessed this score. But it is what it is. We won, and we got a lot of work to do. But it's a lot better than having a lot of work to do and not winning and being on the other side with the last play going the other way. So hats off to them too. Their quarterback played really physical, kept plays alive, and their good receiver, they chucked it up to him and he went over us and got it a couple times. So good win. Let's go back and get better and get healthy too. We played without 3 offensive starters. And tailback, the left guard, and the receiver were all out, and Springer was still out, who is obviously a key to our defense and the scheme that we play. So, questions? In case it doesn't feel like it, we did win.
Lane, how big do you think it was for Matt to, considering how he played against Arkansas last year, how big do you think it was for him to, kind of step up and play against them the way that he did this time around? And did you guys have any conversations this week to kind of talk about what he could improve on from the time that y'all met up last year at all?
This wasn't about this week getting ready to play this defense. This was 12 months. So, when you get embarrassed like we did a year ago, at least me, offensively, we're going to try everything we can to figure out how to beat you. So that was 12 months of different unusual run game planning, double moves on the safeties versus certain splits and all this stuff that I think that's why you probably saw so much excitement in myself and him, during the game because things were hitting that were schematical, things that we had worked on, and some of it was stuff that had never been run before against them that we just took an off season to say, all right, what if we did these things, and studied what hurt Iowa State, also in the Big 12 because similar defense. So, and that's where some of those runs that you saw, that's not in the passing game, that's those runs that you saw hitting, with Snoop, with different blocking schemes. And the backs did good, and you went from 12 months ago, a 7 turnover game and a fumbled snap on the 4th and 1, so basically 8 turnovers to none. And I'm sure, some people weren't happy when we didn't make the 4th down, but we made the other 4. So it's part of it. So I think that fourth down that ended up being a touchdown that was about a 4th and 4 was big because we'd already been stopping on the fourth down, and so it was kind of like, better make this one. So good job by the players picking that up and then turning it into 7 points.
Lane, what do you say to the defense after they give up that touchdown right before the 2-point conversion? And just from your vantage point, what goes through your head? What do you see during a play like that that's do or die?
Well, I think as you guys know, even in the post-game interview there on the field, you're going to get how it is. You're not going to get coach speak. So you can sit here and say rose to the occasion and all of that. Well, they went right down the field. And, we got to make plays in those situations, against a younger quarterback like that. And, it was almost like everything just kept happening. We get a tackle, it's a horse collar. We stop the play, there's 1 second left, and then the guy kind of stops his route and then sneaks to the back of the end zone there and scores with 1 second left, Good play by him, after the initial part of the route was covered, and good play by the quarterback. So I'm usually a positive guy, but it was like, what else could go wrong? And then I see the flag. We stop him on the 2-point. Keith's running out there. I grab him, try to bring him back so he doesn't get us a penalty. Keith was ahead of me. He'd already knew it was lineman downfield. So, it'll probably be one of those things that you're so close to losing. And I felt like what was going to happen is it wasn't going to go down to 2 points. So at least we were going to be in control offensively, and felt like we still had some plays, we could win in overtime. So then when it went to 2 point with no time left, then you're like, we got no control offensively. Like, this is out of our hands. So it got a little scary there.
Lane, Snoop had some huge touchdown runs in the second half, kind of unleashed himself on that defense. Just your impressions of what you saw from him this afternoon.
Great job, as he's done whenever he gets his opportunities. My assistant, Megan, has a sign already up Snoop because she's been saying for 2 weeks we don't play him enough. And so when I walked in, the sign was already up on my door, Snoop. So she's happy. But I think as you look at this, what's unique versus a very tough defense that's very physical, you've got 6 yards total of lost rushing, on 80, 30, 45, 47 rush attempts. So, that you got to do that because you got to get the 3rd and 4th downs close against them. Otherwise, you're going to deal and drop 8 all day. So you got to be efficient like that.
On the last offensive drive, in a situation like that, how do you balance having 67 or so seconds left with just trying to score in any opportunity you get?
Well, you're talking about after the long catch?
Yeah.
Well, when we slow down in short yardage and goal line, have you seen what happens? Like the 4th and 1. So if we can't go fast, it gets a lot harder because they get to line up, cleats in the grass, they blitz everybody. So it's why you see us go fast when a big play, and usually it walks in like that. So you can't risk that, And it wasn't like it was going to a 3-point game. It's going to a 7. So you would sure like to think with 51 seconds, we could stop them. Just some strange stats in the game. They go 8 for 8 in the red zone. We go 3 for 3 and we win. So unusual. We'll take it.
You said last week you thought the run-stopping issues weren't exactly schematic. Just now, after 2 straight games where teams ran well against you, just kind of what is your feeling about the run defense?
Well, that kind of says that there's a schematical issue because they do the same thing, and there was 674 yards rushing in the game. So, both teams did a good job running the ball. Both quarterbacks ran the ball well. To add on to that, both quarterbacks almost had, looks like 100 yards rushing each. So, and we need to get better, play better, and, having Springer back is the key. That's the key guy, like their number 1 is, on their defense.
Lane, you mentioned how you guys ran the ball well, but between Henry and Matt and Snoop, they combined for 315 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, pretty dominant outing there. What impressed you the most about the approach offensively in the run game today?
Well, I think the assistant coaches did a really good job. Like I said, this was a 12-month figure it out, because they're going to stay and give you some issues in the passing game, and they're hard to run between the tackles. And they're better this year than a year ago because they got 3 transfer defensive linemen, that they got that start for them. So I just thought the coaches did a really good job of unusual runs that attack the 4 eyes where they play them, and gave them some run fit issues and went and blocked that number 1 who comes down all the time with the slot at times. So, and the players executed it well.
The last one you mentioned, you guys have to play better and defensively, giving up a little over 50. What's kind of like the biggest thing that stuck out to you on the sideline that you think you guys need to improve on defensively moving forward?
Well, they're going to throw the ball to Burks, especially once they go down by 7, and it was frustrating because we would work our way down there and then they would just throw a jump ball to him, 2 times in a row, 2 plays in a row. So, our play at corner was not good in the run game or the pass game. So we've got to play better outside there, and we've got some older players out there that need to play better.
Last question.
Just out of curiosity, would you have gone for 2 in that situation that Sam went to? I know you like the analytics. Just what do you think about that situation?
Yeah, so as you guys know, we go through all that, and constantly it's moving through the game. And so before you're at home, you're a slight favorite. So analytics will tell you to kick, and more plays, you're supposed to be better. That's analytics. You're underdog, you go for 2, like maybe what they were thinking, especially in a high-scoring game. We had used our 2-point play. We have others, but we had used the one we liked the most. So I had actually said about halfway through the 4th, we're just going to kick and get into overtime and, let the quarterback keep finding a way to score.